Yes, as I said in the first part of this course, that we are going to persist the data in a file. But before doing that, first of all, I should import path from Node.js, which will help us create the address of where the file will be created. And I also import fs, which is a module, will help us work with a file, and slash promises because we are going to use async await instead of callback. Then I create a function which when called will return the path of where the file will be created. Then inside this function, I just write path.join. This helps us build the address of where the file will be. Then inside the parentheses, I just write app.getPath. I open the parentheses. Then inside this parentheses, I just write user data. And this is a special directory which Electron gives us to store the data of this app. Then comma, to-dos.json. This is the name of the file. Then I create an async function named read to-dos from file. And inside, I use try and catch because I want when an error occur inside the try block to catch it in the catch block. Then inside the try block, I create a variable called data equal to await fs read file will try to read our to-do.json and UTF because we want Node to return a readable JavaScript string. Otherwise, Node could return a buffer, which is difficult to work with. Then the data variable, this variable contains a JSON. Then we take that JSON and convert it into JavaScript array and store it in a parsed variable. And we convert using the parse method. Then, while returning here, we check if it is an array using a ternary operator. If so, we return a parsed array. If it's not an array, we return an empty array. Imagine we are trying to read the file, and if the file does not exist, it will throw an error, and that error will be catch here. And when the file doesn't exist, the error which will be thrown is no ent, which means no entity. Then we just write catch error, and inside this catch block, we try to catch that specific error. We just write if, and inside the parentheses, we just do error.code, then equal 3 equal, then that specific error no ent, and we just write await if is true, if this error no entity error, then this statement will be executed. Then inside we just write await fs.write file. We want to write the file. Then we call the function which will give us the path where we want to create the file and the name of the file, the name what we want the file to have. Then that will be the first argument, and the second argument is JSON.stringify because we want to create a JSON array. That's why we pass here an array, and null because we don't want like to remove something in that array. 2 because we want the format with 2 space, and UTF double quote UTF because we don't want, as I told you before, to get a buffer. We want to get a readable JSON, or before it was a readable JavaScript. Otherwise, if we don't give this specification, they may create a buffer which is just byte. Then we create that JSON, and we return also an empty array to the user. And we thrown also an error here, because if we get any other error different to what we catch here, we handle here, we want to also see that error. Then we close this statement, and we close also this function. Yes, I think that we finish in with this read to do's from file. And in the next video, I'm going to explain the next function. Yeah.